What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 310 EDU's YouTube channel. Today, we're talking about figure eights, the old dreaded figure eight. We had a YouTube question, I think, or maybe somebody sent me an email. Anyway, they were talking about how their ropes figure eighting in their swing. So this is very, very common. If this is happening to you, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to not figure eight that rope. Typically speaking, it's not the rope's fault. We get a lot of calls on that because we sell ranch ropes that, hey, this rope is figure eight and every time I swing. It's normally the swing mechanics. I can go get any one of those ropes off of that shelf and swing it without it figure eighting. So with this sort of deal, we usually have to look in the mirror and adjust how we're swinging our rope. So we're going to talk about some of the biggies here when it comes to beginners or people who are figure eighting their rope a lot. First things first, don't swing so much. I know that sounds crazy, but you watch people go into the herd in these rope-ins and they're swinging like 50 times, and on their 23rd swing, they're rope figure eights. And it's like, that was completely unnecessary. You don't have to swing your rope that much. You can just walk in there, set your shot up, and start swinging when it's time to actually throw it. So typically the way we like to practice is 3 swings delivery. So I try to set my calf up, and then I try to pick my rope up and swing. It's going to greatly decrease the amount of figure eights you're going to have to fix because you're not swinging so dang much. With that being said, there are some things that happen in the swing, especially with beginners now, that will create a figure eight. So this is A number 1. Somebody swinging with their palm up like this, right? I got no wrist movement, and as you can see, my rope is trying to figure eight. It helps if you have a Honda like this. This is a tied-on Honda. It's a paracord Honda. It's pretty cool. We got some that match the rope, but that'll keep it from figure eighting some. But you can kind of see it here in my my spoke. I know y'all can see that figure eight. So what's happening here is I'm swinging with my palm to the sky the whole time. Do you see that? Yeah, it's figure eighted for sure. So with my palm to the sky, what's happening is I'm not allowing that front strand of that rope, or that loop, the front strand of that loop. So that would be this one, right? If I look at it like this is the front of the loop and this is the back of the loop, what I'm not doing is I'm not getting that over, right? It's just staying out there in no man's land the whole swing. And so if you never roll your palm to the ground or roll your wrist over, or roll your thumb, right? If you never do that, that Honda just kind of stays trying to go the opposite direction. So the correct way to do that would be to throw a little wrist in it, right? You can swing with a lot of arm, but as that Honda comes around my left ear and the back of my head, I'm going to throw that Honda to the ground. Throw it to the ground. Throw it to the ground. And I'm going to flick that wrist a little bit to keep that Honda turning the direction that I want the loop to go, because I want it to stay open, right? So it's there, there, there. So as it comes out in front of me, I'm throwing that Honda over the bottom strand of the loop, right? Boom, and it keeps it open. So that is probably A number 1 when it comes to beginner mistakes. Like if you're swinging with a real stiff wrist and your palm sticking at the sky, right? It's going to figure eight your rope all the time. All the time. You're going to be dealing with this. So we're going to be here. And you can swing with just wrist, like that, right? Or add arm. But as long as you roll that Honda over, you'll be good to go. Another common mistake that we're going to see with beginners is how tight you hold your rope. This is going to create like a hard spot in your rope as far as the loop's concerned. So you want your loop to kind of be free, like free flowing and moving in your hand the way it needs to go to stay open. So if I just death grip this thing and I'm just here, right, this is going to, even though my palm's down, that rope figure eighted. You see that? Right? Well, there, it's kind of figure eighting. This is a great beginner rope. Anybody, the Patriot is a great beginner rope. It's very forgiving. I should have done this with a different rope. But anyway, so if death grip, white knuckle, is a 10, right? I want to be at like a 3. I basically just want to hold it tight enough to where the rope stays in my hand and doesn't leave me, right? But if you death grip it and you swing, even if you swing incorrectly with like a lighter touch, it's not going to figure eight as much. So keep that in mind as well. That is another big beginner mistake that we see at a lot of clinics, is people are holding their rope really, really tight. The last thing we're going to talk about is the way you hold your rope. Not necessarily the tightness, but how you're going to position your hand. So it's not going to look like this. You're not going to grab it like a fist or make a fist, right? It's going to be loose. So I like to kind of put that finger sticking out. You don't have to do that. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, but I just want it to be kind of sitting in my fingertips, right? I don't want it way back in my palm. I want it right in my fingertips. And then I'm just going to kind of let it be the rope, right? I'm just going to kind of keep it in my hand, but I'm not going to squeeze it to death. And I'm going to keep it in my fingertips, not in my palm, right? It's not going to be way back here like this. That's already that feels terrible. So those are 3 things you can do to keep your rope from figure eighting throughout the swing. And additionally, don't swing so much. 3 swings and throw. It doesn't take that many swings. And typically, if you're doctoring in a herd or at a branding or whatever, you don't want to be standing in the middle of the herd swinging anyway. So just kind of set your shot up and then pick up, swing 3 times, and either miss or catch. That's kind of our philosophy on that, is to build muscle memory, right? So 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, throw. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Check out 310edu.com. Use the code TRYIT for $1. That's going to be try it for $1, right? And you'll get your first month at 310edu for $1. We got great beginner videos on there, and it'll help you with all the things, managing your rope, feeding your rope, all the stuff. Go check it out. I'll see you in the next video.